Sit in any modern room and you are surrounded by a constant, silent storm. Wi-Fi routers, smartphones, and cellular networks are constantly firing chaotic waves of electromagnetic energy right through your physical space. Walk outside, and the electrical infrastructure inside your walls and down your street operates on alternating current. Dozens of times every single second, the magnetic fields around these wires expand and collapse, pushing invisible energy outward into the suburbs. Zoom out to a planetary scale, and the Earth's molten iron core generates a colossal magnetic shield. This shield intercepts highly charged solar radiation before it hits the surface, a collision we only occasionally see as the aurora borealis. Humans are blind to this ocean of forces because our biology detects only a tiny sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum, visible light. We occupy a physical world we cannot actually see in its entirety. A community of biohackers is attempting to bridge this sensory gap. By taking a tiny solid magnetic core and encasing it in pure medical-grade titanium, they created the Titan biomagnet, designed to be permanently implanted into the dense nerve endings of the human fingertip. For those avoiding surgery, researchers built a non-invasive alternative called the FeelSpace belt. It uses a ring of vibrating actuators around the waist that continuously buzz to indicate the exact direction of magnetic north. What happens to the people using these devices reveals a biological anomaly. One biohacker with a fingertip implant walked into a local library. When he passed through the anti-theft security arches, his finger buzzed violently. He didn't look down at his hand to see what was touching him. Instead, he stopped mid-stride and looked around the room. His brain had stopped interpreting the sensation as physical touch and was treating it as a spatial warning. Researchers testing the FeelSpace belt found similar results. They blindfolded participants and had them walk through complex, multi-angled polygon paths. Guided only by the belt's magnetic vibrations, subjects were able to track their position and find their way back to the start, demonstrating advanced path integration. In both cases, neuroplasticity took over in a matter of weeks. The brain integrated magnetic data into the subject's conscious spatial awareness with a speed that suggests it is already primed for the information. To understand how living tissue detects magnetism, we look to migratory birds like the European robin. Inside the bird's retina, blue light strikes a protein called cryptochrome, splitting it into two electrons with correlated quantum spins. Think of them balancing on a teeter-totter. Earth's magnetic field interacts with their spin, tipping the balance, which alters the molecule's chemical signaling state. Because the bird's retina is curved, the magnetic field intersects different cryptochrome proteins at different angles. This quantum reaction creates a distinct pattern of chemical yields, effectively painting a visible overlay of the magnetic field directly onto the bird's vision. Organic tissue is capable of transducing invisible magnetic fields into tangible neural data. A team of researchers at Caltech designed an experiment to find out if the human brain is quietly running a similar process without us knowing. Inside a Faraday cage, participants sat within a 3-axis coil that silently rotated a magnetic field around their heads. When rotated counterclockwise, their alpha brainwaves plummeted. This alpha ERD pattern is the exact signature of subconscious sensory detection. The subjects felt nothing. Yet, their brains reacted specifically to magnetic fields pointing downward at a 60-degree angle, the exact orientation of the Earth's magnetic field in Pasadena, California, where the test took place. The human brain implicitly detects and processes magnetic shifts at a biological level, even if the conscious mind remains unaware. This sensitivity likely began with the birth of life itself. Iron ions around deep-sea hydrothermal vents catalyze the formation of early macromolecules, eventually leading to bacteria that biomineralized magnetite to navigate the field. Humans inherited this iron-rich evolutionary lineage, which researchers suggest still functions within our trigeminal and vestibular systems. This schematic illustrates the electromagnetic induction hypothesis. Our inner ear could convert magnetic fields into electric potentials. The semicircular canal's 3 orthogonal planes catch relative magnetic movements, separating them into electrical signals that trigger ion channels, sending raw spatial data to the vestibular nerve. Human biology retains the physical mechanisms required to translate magnetic fields into neural signals. The biohackers with fingertip implants are reconnecting with an evolutionary legacy. They are bypassing the 5 senses we rely on to reach a hidden biological data stream. These devices take the invisible magnetic data the brain's hardware is already tracking and elevate it to the level of conscious perception. Magnetoreception is a latent trait we are only now learning to reactivate. We aren't isolated entities walking across a dead rock. Every second of the day, the invisible currents of the Earth's magnetic ocean pass right through us, and deep down in our biology, we are feeling every shift.